This video is the little screen goes out, so I can't tell whether you see me or not. One thing I did is I put stickles in the center of the flower, and one for the inside also. This is our circle, and this is the square. So we're going to put all these little goodies on and get this all put together. It shouldn't take but a minute to do it. But isn't this unusual, the different colors that we're using? Anyway, let's get to work. Here we go. I have a bunch of squares cut out. Remember, I told you I'm doing this for my card party. So for the card party, this time we have 11 people coming, which means we need 12 cards put together. One to actually see, and one for each person, one so that it's easier when they put it together. Okay, let's give this a try. I want to make sure it's inked up real good. I can do everything through him who gives me strength, and that's Philippians 4:13. And remember, I like to send out encouragement cards, and that's basically what this particular card is encouragement. Now, some of you said you couldn't hear me. Turn the volume up. I'm talking loud today. My microphone is pretty far away from me, and so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that or how I can fix that. But I did get the picture closer. You'll notice you're right there in what I'm doing. So I apologize for the first one. We all learned a lot. I know I learned a lot, and I'm thankful that you all gave feedback so I knew what to adjust to make this look nicer and easier for you. Now, because of this paper has got the glittery stuff to it, see how it's all glittery and sparkly? Well, it picks up, when you cut it, you got these little white tags on there, and I just take a fingernail block and do it, sand it. So I'm going to put this in here. So that my inside of my card looks very nice. And then I'm going to put a lot of glue on this particular one because this is going to be my sentiment area, and since I am gluing on top of glue, I want to make sure that it's not going to fall off. So we'll get this glued with a lot of glue on here, as you can see, so it'll adhere properly. Now, oh, doesn't that look pretty on the inside? Now again, I'm mailing these cards, so I'm not putting on all kinds of goodies on this. I'm just going to glue them, and I'm hoping I'm going over to, on this card party, we're actually going to have it at May's new store. I think it's May's Country Cottage, or Crafty Cottage. Whenever she announces the name, you'll know what it is. And I'm going there. And there's a lot of us ladies going. There's 11 of us going. So it'll be a nice card party. Okay, now, we're going to put this one down here. Well, I better close up my glue. For some reason, I have a lot of glue coming out. I better grab. I must have squeezed my bottle too hard. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. You got to be prepared, so I always keep baby wipes on my tabletop here. I must have just squeezed too hard for that to come out, so I'm sorry. Oh, I hope you're having a great week. I am. It was my hubby's birthday yesterday, and we had the nicest time, and I can't find the closer on this thing. I'm going to keep this on top until I find it so it doesn't get any air in there. Guess what? Here it is. Here's my needle sitting right on here, black and white. You can't see anything then. Okay. And see, it's still oozing out. I don't know why. I must have really squeezed it awful hard because it normally never does that. Okay, back to work. It was my husband's birthday on Monday. So on Sunday night, my daughter has to work Monday night. So on Sunday night, she invites us over and has dinner for him. Well, it turns out her husband wasn't feeling well, so she brought the dinner over here. And I had gone out and bought cupcakes because he's diabetic. He didn't want a lot of cakes sitting around the house. So, okay, got him cupcakes that he wanted. And we had corned beef and cabbage. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It's something I never cook. And look what I did. I'm going to put that up like that. Then my circle's got to go under there. So last night, unfortunately, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine from work where I worked, his father died. And yesterday was the wake. So I had asked Jim what he wanted me to make him for dinner. And he's wanted meatloaf, applesauce meatloaf, which is a cool recipe that I have that I got from First Place, which is a diet program, a Christian diet program right out of Texas. So anyway, I have the recipe because I've been dieting for years. I have a problem. I like too much food. I think that's my problem. Anyway, he wanted applesauce meatloaf because it was a recipe that sounded terrible. Turned out it was delicious. And so I got all the ingredients. I went to the store, got all the ingredients for applesauce meatloaf. Well, unfortunately, with going to the wake, we decided, well, we'll just pick up sandwiches, and I'll make up, today's Tuesday, I'll make the meatloaf. And before I started this video, I have the meatloaf, and it's in the oven already. So I put the meatloaf on, and it's in the oven right now. But last night when we're just going to stop someplace, we stopped at, it's a chain one. We stopped at Macaroni Grill. We love the Macaroni Grill. You can tell by looking at us. We love the Macaroni Grill. So we go to the Macaroni Grill. And while we're there, we get a telephone call from my daughter, who said earlier that she was going to call. And because the kids wanted to sing happy birthday to their grandpa. So while we're there, Heather calls. And the kids sing happy birthday, and they're all excited, and they do, you look like a monkey, and all that kind of jazz. They do that. Grandpa's laughing. And then Heather gets back on the phone, and she says, so how's the meatloaf? And Jim explains, well, unfortunately, we had to go to a wake. And so we decided we'll just go out to eat, and we'll make the meatloaf tomorrow night, which is tonight. And she says, okay, well, you guys have fun. What are you having? And Jim says, oh, we're going to have some lasagna. So we're sitting there, we're having our lasagna. It was delicious, had a great time. Waitress was wonderful. Everybody was wonderful at the restaurant. And towards the end of the meal, she says, anyone here celebrating a birthday? And Jim didn't say anything. I said, yes, he is. And I said, but please, whatever you do, don't sing happy birthday. Because while we were at the wake, my friend George decides to sing and have everybody sing happy birthday to my husband at a wake. Can you stand it? So anyway, Jim was not too impressed with that, but he kind of chuckled as we got out of there. He says, that's the strangest place I've ever had a wake. Had a birthday sung to me at a wake. So we have a good time. We have a chuckle about it. And I'm looking, here it is. And so we had that little discussion, So by now, Heather knows where we are. And unbeknownst to us, she calls the restaurant and says, I want to pay for my mom and dad's dinner. They're there celebrating my dad's dinner. So that's when the lady came a little bit afterwards and said, anybody having a birthday here? And I tell them my husband Jim is. And she says, oh, well, you get a free birthday cake tonight. Free dessert. So she brings the dessert thing, and we pick out this chocolate molten cake, and we both had lasagna, so we weren't hungry. We took half our lasagna home. Anyway, we eat our lasagna. Look at this, isn't this adorable? Ooh, now I gotta figure out how to move it in. Let's see. I don't want it wide. I want it this way. I'm gonna shape the camera a little. There you go. See, I learned where the things were on my camera now. Isn't that just adorable? Doesn't that make a nice little note card to send to someone that you care for, that's going through troubled times? It'll make them feel better. I can do everything through him that gives me strength. So that's my card. But I'll finish the story, then I'll let you off. So anyway, we go and we ask for the bill. It's time to leave. She got us the boxes, and I said, could we have the bill? And she says, it's paid for. Now, mind you, we look around the restaurant is almost empty, and it has nothing to do with Macaroni Grill. It's about all these people in Alabama love Alabama football. Well, Alabama was playing, and that's when Jim and I usually go out to dinner, is when Alabama's playing, because there's never anybody in the restaurant. You don't have to wait in line. You get great service. Everything's immediate, So we went to dinner when Alabama was playing, and everything was wonderful. So we couldn't figure out. Of course, she's not going to tell us. She says, I promised I wouldn't tell who it was. And so we leave the store, and before we left, she said, well, we knew it was you, because Jim asked, well, how do you know it's us? And she said, well, we knew it was you because she told us what you were having for dinner. And at that moment, that's when we know who did it, who called, or who paid for our dinner. So thank you, Heather, and thank you, everybody, for listening to my boring story. And look at that, the card's close up, you can see it, and isn't that beautiful? Look at how it glitters in that. And we've got the beautiful black and white paper. And now, I did not have 12 sheets of this. Actually, 6 sheets of this is all I would need. So the other people will get a card. I want to show you that. It'll have a white base like this, and it'll have a darker color background, but it'll still be the orange and pink. It'll still have the pink and orange in it, but this one has the orange background and the pink dots, and it still goes with this paper, so it'll go underneath there. Everything else is the same except these 2 sheets, because in the particular stack that I have, they only had 2 sheets of the same identical paper, and of course to make 12 cards, you need 4 sheets of paper. So, because we looked at that on the other video, and you need 6 of these, or 3 of these and 3 of these, and it worked out really nice because the Michaels paper, the Michaels paper is up here. I only had enough to do 2 more, so it was a choice between the black and white like that. And I thought, what, I'm doing the polka dots on one, I'll do the polka dots on the other one too, and so that's what I did. If I would have used this houndstooth, that would have been a problem, because that's an Alabama color. And half our gals at the card party follow Alabama, and the other half follow Auburn. Now you've got me a lesson on that, so I'm sorry to bore you half to death. You have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me today, and she's a sassy lady. Bye now.